Did everyone have a copy of the agenda?
You know what, I do not. Thank you.
Why don't
Thank
I?
you.
Fortunately, my computer, when we updated it to Windows 10, it zapped all my Outlook files. It's not even scratches of last week.
Any of those updates, I'll tell you, my God.
It's an upgrade
Just in case you needed
to 10, that's all it was.
Huh.
All right, we can call the meeting to order. It's Tuesday, June 25th, 10 a.m., meeting of the Economic Development Committee. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, the first agenda item, well, actually second now, is the acceptance of the minutes for Tuesday, May 21st. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
I don't remember if I was there or not. This week, we don't list you.
I mean, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
All right.
Second.
All right, Todd's made the motion, Mark is seconded it. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Next on the agenda are the Economic Development Committee vacancies. Brian, did you want to talk? Because I know at our last meeting, you had thought about joining and then got an email.
I didn't need to email you and contact you last month, and I did, and I didn't get a response, so I didn't know how to act, how to proceed further.
Do you want to come right up to this? Why don't you sit right over here?
Oh, here?
Yeah, you know, right here, yeah.
Well, last
Mike.
month, I learned that there was a vacancy. I came to meet you folks, and I made a linguistic faux pas. When I came here, it was to learn about what resources are available to the community for a small business owner, and I was directed to this committee. Then I learned that there was a seat available, and I wanted that seat. During my introduction, I made this ridiculous linguistic faux pas that made me seem unreliable. So I sent an email, and I said that I would withdraw because I looked unreliable. I didn't know how to withdraw. I didn't know if there was a formal process for withdrawing or not, so I came today.
Okay.
That's what I asked you. I didn't know if it was appropriate that we even contact behind the scenes. I have no idea, and that's why I say I made a linguistic faux pas, and that's why I say that I'm unreliable. I'm not unreliable, but I certainly was then. So I wanted to withdraw my race for the chair. I still want to know what the Economic Development Committee does in this town, and I still want to know how it supports small business. And I'm still that passionate guy that this committee needs. Maybe somebody else in my stead should want to come up here.
So we'll tackle it two ways. First,
I don't mean to be
No.
bombastic.
No,
I know I just had to go save my cat, so I'm a little pumped up. I'm sorry. I don't mean to throw it at you.
hopefully the cat's okay.
3 weeks ago, what was it, Memorial Day, 4 weeks or whatever, she fell out of a tree 38 feet.
Oh, geez.
I'm the guy that actually called the fire department. My cat's in the tree. I can't reach my cat in the tree. She's up too high for my extension ladder. He's like, it's Memorial. I said, I know it's Memorial Day. Everybody's at the beach. What am I going to do? I don't want to watch my cat die. I can't reach her. She fell. She just came down, fell, and she was fine. Tufts, big bill, but she was fine. Cats are pretty resilient. Today I had to go get her. She wanted to take an animal on. I didn't think it was appropriate that she took on.
Okay.
So I had to change her mind. I'm a little adrenalized.
No, that's quite all right.
So as far as the consideration, your name was never placed into formal nomination, right? We said,
Oh.
okay, think about it, for 30 days, whatever, and then if you wanted to, come back at the next meeting, got the email. I just figured that you withdrew, and I thought that was the end of it, really, at that point. So I apologize if I didn't communicate back to you.
I like to know where I stand. I like to ask questions and find. I'm one of those anal detail guys. If I present something, I want to know and have it backed up. And I have questions all the time about everything, so I can make good decisions, because what comes out of me, I have to support.
Yeah.
So I like to know all the ins and outs.
As far as what the Economic Development Committee actually does, our mandate from the bylaw is we serve at the pleasure of the Board of Selectmen, and it is to advise the Board of Selectmen on things that they could be doing to help the business climate here in Dudley. Part of the mandate is the development of a 5-year economic development plan, which the committee did and submitted to the Board of Selectmen last July.
I saw that,
And basically, you know, one of the things, you know, some of the things that we've tackled is simple little things. The people that sell things online to be able to go to the police department and conduct a transaction in the parking lot under video surveillance, so that when they're dealing with strangers, you know,
A Craigslist kind of thing, provide a safe space for
safe
Craigslist
space,
interactions?
exactly. So, you know, it's the little things like that. The economic development plan was developed, literally, we did a community-wide survey. We had over a year of public hearings. We met with all the different various boards, got copies of their plans, you know, needs, things like that. And then developed the plan, which basically started from, you know, a lot of action items with timeframes on, you know, what department should do what. And it was to create all these to take all these individual silos that exist in the town, such as the planning board, water sewer, right, board of selectmen, assessors, and try to take these silos and make them part of an overall strategy. If a business wanted to relocate to town or was considering somewhere in southern Worcester County, we wanted to be able to handhold that business through whatever regulations exist, whatever processes, and be an advocate for them so that they can locate in Dudley, expand, or do whatever. Our primary mission was to take the large employers in town, make sure that their needs were being met first, you know, help them with their job recruitment. You know, when a company like Gentex has a job fair, you know, we help them promote it online, things along those lines. But also the small businesses at home. Most of Dudley's business activity, a lot of it is behind the scenes, people working out of their homes in a new digital economy. And so it's helping them grow, hopefully to the point where where the business is starting to get too big for them to do out of their house and maybe relocate to someplace in Dudley, hire some employees and grow. Where, you know, the town itself is sort of in a quandary because we're not right off the highway, but everybody passes through us to get home.
Nobody knows Dudley exists.
Yeah.
It's a quiet little beautiful hamlet that's gorgeous, and nobody knows it's here.
Yeah. A third of our land is agriculturally protected, roughly.
Yeah.
And so a big part of our mission was to try to get those agricultural lands back on the tax rolls in a higher classification to be productive again. You know, and we have some dormant farms that have been dormant for years now coming live again. You know, the farmers have developed their agricultural commission, which they're continuing to grow and refine. So in general, you know, we're a board without authority. The only authority we have is to advise.
That's my sticking point right there. This is a board without authority. So what's the point? I really don't. I just, you know, what's the power? This committee exists to perpetuate business and yet keep Dudley the way it is. Because like I said, nobody knows where it is. Maybe we don't want everybody to know where it is because they'll come in and develop it. And we'll have rules and we'll have changes and committee meetings up the wazoo for the rest of our lives. That doesn't benefit anybody. I know it serves underneath Board of Selectmen, etc. If it's for business development, where's the authority? How come there's no authority for for an organization in town representing local government and local businesses, big and small, why is it existing without authority?
Well,
And I
because,
could be ignorant, I could not know the process.
because the authority lies with the Board of Selectmen. That's, it's part of town government. Please, anybody, jump in.
I think, maybe the wrong word is authority, but what we bring to the table is information to the public and to other boards that will help the community to grow. So our authority is in the research and bringing together some of that data that we can help the town make good choices. The selectmen are the governing body, but we're kind of the behind-the-scenes people who are trying to help us stay on track and give you enough information that you, being a voter in Dudley, or being on boards, can make informed decisions. And I think that's what we've brought to the table through a lot of research.
And that makes sense to me.
That's what our authority is.
And I appreciate that. I really do. That is authority right there. So there is some authority to this committee. Which brings me right back to something you said a moment ago, serving small business, brings me right back to my original intention of meeting with you folks last month. I want to be a resource for small business. Every business needs what I do, every single one. There is no resource around here for what I do. They have to sign up with Wix or get nickel and dime by some of my competition that exists around. And it's still a convoluted mess of a market that every single business needs. What I do, websites, marketing, infrastructure support, business development, that kind of thing, I really, really want to work with. And my linguistic faux pas last time was when I came and I said, you guys know everybody. I didn't mean you're business guys and you know all the business. I meant to say, and I did it right the first time I did it, local government knows everybody. So that's why I presented myself in front of this committee. This is a local government committee, and you work with other local government, and you know everybody in town. It's not like you're like insider trading. That was my faux pas, and I'm taking the heat for that.
But we're not a resource to help you drive your business. That's not.
You're not, but you're a resource for business.
Yeah. We're a resource for developing opportunities for businesses to come. Why should you come to Dudley? Why should you have your business in Dudley? And that's kind of what we're trying to identify. I think I may have been the one who addressed your, the misunderstanding that you may have had, or whatever it might have been, in that if you join the board, none of us here on the board have an agenda. It's how can we help the residents of Dudley? How can we continue to help Dudley develop economically? And that obviously encompasses a lot of different things, from the Gentex to someone like yourself who's running a small business. But I guess the most important thing to understand is that if you come here and you're a board member, it's not an opportunity to promote your current business.
Of course it's not.
You market your business the way you need to market it, and the town will provide particular resources for you to be able to do that. Some you may like, some you might not like, but anyway, that's the kind of the feeling that I got last time you were here, was that maybe if I join this board, I can help develop my business.
See, that was
really
my
not how it
fault, and that
works,
was
yeah.
my linguistic faux pas.
So
Yeah,
we just shared
absolutely.
with you that that's not really the way it works, and I think you understood that. And so so if that was the reason for you to want to join the board, then yeah, maybe maybe you're not a good board candidate. But
That
I
wasn't
thought
my
you
reason.
understood that, oh no, that's not, I misspoke, but I'm interested in getting involved. So here we are. And I guess the question still remains, are you interested in becoming a board member or not?
I am very interested in being a gigantic part of something that I think is doing some good. And I can still be ignorant. I'm not trying to put anybody or any committee on the hot seat. I'm trying to find, this is my recon. This is recon. Everybody needs to do recon. Now, when small business comes to this town, as a resource, do you tell them that there's lawyers in town? Do you tell them that we have insurance in town to meet your small business needs, that kind of thing?
No.
Is that a thing that might occur? Say, this is our economy, local economy, this is what we can offer.
You're missing one of our links that some of us belong to and some of us are able to interact with, and that's that we have a Chamber of Commerce and we have a
Right.
Webster Dudley Business Alliance. And through networking and being able to put people in touch with people who may help their business, that's our source as individuals to do, but that is not a source for the board to do. That is only a contact group of people that helps us do work for the town to keep the exposure going. But as an individual looking to do business, those are the resources that are more on your level that would be suited for your business purposes. This is really suited for the big picture. We look for the big picture for Dudley. Where are we going? How will we get there? Do we see change happening? How do we be proactive, not reactive, on doing that? And we do talk to some of those organizations, have them in, try and do a few joint things together to make community awareness, but it's not about developing business through that. That source for you would be, those sources would be primary sources.
And we mentioned
I
those
understand.
last time we were together, too.
Yeah, I remember.
The Chamber of Commerce and the Business Alliance, and that's where you drive your business.
See, being a
I know.
public,
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
being a public body, all right, tremendous scrutiny. You have to be above reproach. And so when you ask about, do we recommend insurance agents or lawyers?
Not
we can't.
recommend, because
Or-
you can't do that.
Exactly.
You can't.
We don't even mention them, except our large employers when they come up in conversations, because, you know, some of these employers employ hundreds of people. All right, so that's when, you know, in cases like that, we'll mention a particular name. But you know, if we mention, say, a surveyor by name, all right, believe me, we will hear the next day, well, why didn't you mention this, and this? And then people say, oh, that's because this person's on the take, or this or that, or they're friends. And so we stay away from it. It's taboo.
I don't think I made myself clear.
Okay.
Again, I'm having a hard time making myself clear, and it's my fault.
One other thing is, a lot of us have come up through the ranks. John, myself, Mark, Todd, we've served on other committees and done it in the beginning to observe, then become participants, and helped improve our knowledge to bring skills to other boards that we serve on. I think it's to your advantage to attend a few meetings, see what goes on here, and then make a decision if this is a fit for what you want to do before you jump into it and make that commitment. The last thing we want is to have people come on board and disappear in 2 months because they didn't really understand. This isn't glamorous. This isn't fun. This is a mission that we're on for our community because we take pride, we live here, and it's important to us. So maybe observing is your first part to see if this is the fit for you to do what it is you're trying to accomplish by seeing what we do.
And you're doing the due diligence. This, right, second
I always
meeting.
put the time
yeah.
in.
I mean, but the town has a tremendous need for volunteers for a lot of different boards, whether it's the Finance Committee, Capital Improvement Committee. There's a new Recreation Commission that they're trying to form that'll take the beach and the rail trails and all the recreational and event opportunities. That's in formation now. We have vacancies on the Economic Development Committee. So it's really a matter of, you know, so that's reflection. Okay, where are my talents and my strengths, and what board do I think I can help with? Everybody has to start somewhere. And the fact that, right, you've never been involved in town government, that's all right. Everybody has to start. And a lot of this, we just learn through experience. And so how the process works, and I mean, right, as soon as, you know, you are appointed to any board, right, you have to take an oath with the town clerk.
Sure.
Right, there's conflict of interest training you have to do with the Secretary of State's office. There's open meeting law training you have to do. But that all can be taught. And so, you know, you're a passionate guy. I would absolutely recommend that you look at the town, even maybe talk with Michelle at the Selectman's office and say, what committees are in desperate need for help right now? And then once you see all of them, then say, okay, you know what, I want to get involved here. And if it is the Economic Development Committee, then, you know, again, what you do is say you'd like to be considered. What it would do is it would take a person here. Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to write a letter to the Board of Selectmen officially saying you'd like to be part of the committee. and then they'll refer it here. We would then have an interview with you, you know. A person on the board has to make the motion to, you know,
Sure,
appoint you,
sure.
then it's gotta be seconded, then it's gotta vote of the board, and then the Board of Selectmen.
Sure, they gotta
And then
do
we
their
have to
thing.
Take it, and then we go to the Board of Selectmen and say, we have a new member we'd like you to consider. And they're usually fantastic, they take the advice, they've never, you know, rejected anybody, and so, but I would encourage you. I mean, if you think, if this is where your passion lies, then pursue it.
Well, I'm twofold here. I'm kind of dichotomy here. I'm here, most of the people I do business with, small businesses, are ignorant as the day is long. It's not their job to know what I know. I'm a pro, I'm a vendor. A lot of them tell me, as a small business, I don't know what to do. I don't know what my resources are available to me. I sit with them and go to local government websites sometimes. Oh, there's not a lot available to you. Boston, that's fancy, but you're not gonna be served in Boston. Worcester, there's a little bit. Webster, a little bit. Around town. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm not trying to create something out of nothing. But they all have an ignorance, and they all have, I don't know where to turn. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do my taxes. I mean, I can't help them with that. That's not my gig. But they all have questions. I'm one of those jack of all trade guys. I know some stuff that's useless, so they ask me this stuff all the time, and I don't know. Get involved in local government. Go talk to town hall. See what they have for you.
And again, that's where, you know, organizations investing in themselves by joining the chamber, or, I mean, there's a fantastic local organization, the Webster Dudley Business Alliance, that helps them with that.
I keep
And-
looking at that, and I keep seeing. I'm just gonna ruffle feathers. I don't think that's the answer that's a fine resource. That's a private enterprise.
But,
You gotta pay to join, you go to networks, and you're in a group. It's not part of the government.
no.
It's a private enterprise. I don't say it's a bad thing. That's not what I'm saying.
I mean, it's actually a good thing, because government cannot provide the answers.
That's the
Government
good
cannot provide long-lasting answers. You know, America is still a democracy, a capitalistic country. And, you know, the way people invest in their cars and their educations, people have to invest in their livelihoods and their careers. Most people spend more time planning their vacation than they do their own finances, or their own professional development, or continuing education. The Webster Dudley Business Alliance are people that are in the trenches. It's a private organization of private business owners that work together. They're friends, they help mentor each other, they help them navigate. The problem is, you cannot rely upon the government to solve your problems. The government is the problem most of the time.
I don't disagree with the word you said, and I don't want to feel animosity
Yeah.
here between us. I'm not trying to
Oh,
rile
no,
you.
absolutely not. We're having
You're
I'm
as
a passionate guy.
passionate as me.
Yeah, exactly.
We
Type
can
A.
hang and have a Guinness.
Exactly.
I get that, and that's fine. I know government doesn't solve your problems, but the only reason government exists is for people. Period. That's it. It's as corrupt as the day is long because of people. And it exists to serve people. So that's a dichotomy. Government's a joke. How do you fix government? Well, that's a story for a different day. I'm not going to jump down there. I'm really not. I'm sorry if I don't mean to take all this time. I really don't.
Well, I think, I understand you're passionate, but I honestly think you haven't paid your dues. So
With
you need-
what?
You need to
should see the
pay.
gas I waste knocking on doors
Just
every
a minute.
day for my business so
You
I can
need-
pay.
If you
bills.
want to be involved in the town, paying your dues is start, make the commitment, serve, and come up the ranks, and then figure out what your best
I
fit
don't
is.
disagree
But
with
it's
that.
not about looking on the outside in, because a lot of people look from the outside in and are very opinionated until you've been on the committee to help do some things to move whether it's recreation, whether it's planning, whatever it is, you need to be involved, and then you can critique once you're part of the inside and see how it all works, because town government doesn't work like anything else. And this is not your resource for making major changes in people's businesses. This is a resource to help make major changes in the community that offers the opportunity for the people who have businesses in town. So I think you're going in a loop. We can go on and on forever. And it isn't expensive to join groups. The Business Alliance is $50 a year, and Mark and I will both agree, you more than get your money back with the interaction of the people you meet who help you with your taxes, who help you with computers, who help you with all the things that businesses need. But you gotta start somewhere. So I think you gotta stop going in the loop, make a decision, what's your fit, and take it from there.
I'm not here for a free lunch or insight or a free ride. That's nuts. That's legitimately nuts. That's not why I'm here, taking your time and my time. I'm here as a small business owner today. As I said, what's my resources in this town as a small business owner? And I say, as a small business owner, I don't have much. Now, you might say it's not my responsibility, and I might not disagree, but I'm doing recon, I'm finding out. I know small business owners, and they have the same questions that I do. I'm just talkative. I just aim in your face. I'm talkative to get the answers that I can. Maybe help somebody, maybe not.
There was a Business Alliance event last night at Mexicali. Happened to be a Business Alliance member, and I serve on the board as well. And I won't tell you what business I'm in, because that's not why I'm here, but I picked up 2 leads last night.
I didn't see it on the calendar, on your website.
Well, you're not a member.
But I didn't see it on the calendar on your website. Only members can see calendar events? I didn't know that. I look at your website all the time. I make websites.
It was in the Yankee Shopper, it was in the Webster Times, it was in the Smart Shopper announcing the event. It's on the WDBA website.
Are you telling me that I'm not doing my diligence if I don't subscribe to those publications as a small business owner because I didn't know about this? That's where we're going down this road. Everything's becoming the small business owner's fault for not knowing about.
No.
Which is why I'm here in the first place.
I think
I have that to take advantage of.
I think you're being told what resources are available. You just choosing to ignore them.
I'm not. I disagree that. No, I don't disagree. My answers, my questions are being answered. They're not being answered the first time, so I ask again. They're being answered, and that's fine. That's progress. That's government. That's result.
Yep. So I would recommend, talk to Michelle at the Selectman's office. Take a look at all the different boards that have the volunteer opportunities. There is a form online as well under, the about the town. There's a volunteer form, and it tells you some of the different committees that are looking for volunteers. And if you fill that out, the Board of Selectmen will then reach out to you, and then you have a conversation with them, and then they can help steer you in the right direction on what you want to do. I don't know with your technology background, I don't know, maybe the library's looking for volunteers, maybe the fire department, to help with their stuff. But it's all volunteer stuff. But talk to the Board of Selectmen, and they'll give you an idea of everything. And if at the end of the day, you want to be considered for the Economic Development Committee, then you'd have to just write a letter to the Board of Selectmen and say, I wish to, be considered for the Economic Development Committee, and then that'll begin the formal process.
How do I provide ideas without becoming on a committee? How do I give ideas to my local government?
Well, I'm going to speak personally about ideas. Everybody has them.
Everybody's got one, sure.
Everybody's got them. At the end of the day, you know what the richest place in Dudley is? It's the graveyard. It's the graveyards in Dudley.
Right.
And the reason why is because in that graveyard are ideas to cure cancer, books that are unwritten. I mean, Les Brown, a great speaker, had a tremendous dialogue on this. All those hopes and dreams of people with all these ideas that were waiting for other people to do them or never acted on them, they're all buried in the ground with those people.
I'm sitting here, so I do stuff.
We don't need ideas, we need doers.
Yes. We need doers and a way to do it. A way to get it done. Right. I agree 100%.
All right. So I got to continue on with the
Oh, go
agenda.
ahead. I'm sorry I took
All right?
up so much
No,
time.
no, no,
I
that's
can
all
tell
right.
There's some feathers ruffled here.
No, no.
That's progress, though.
there
You know
are.
what? Never be afraid to wrinkle an eyebrow.
Yeah. So, move on? All right.
All right.
So the next thing on the agenda is the town video update. Brian, thank you.
Well, thank you for letting me
No,
talk.
absolutely.
Really, I appreciate it. I know I'm obnoxious sometimes. I know. But there's not enough of us out there. People just stand there and let other people tell them what to do all day.
Yeah. So where do we stand?
We stand, BJ has done her part. She's got us linked up with Nichols College to move it forward. I have the names of 5 banks that I think we should talk with. I'd like to get together with Mark and I, have coffee one morning before our days are off and running, and let's try and finalize it. I think 5 might be too many to bring in for the first session. We might have to divide it into maybe 3 and 2, and we'll see if we can come up with some questions that we want asked, and then make our link. I already left messages at several places, so would they be interested in participating, which they are. So I think the next thing is firm it up on questions, date, and time. So I think it's Mark and I getting together and then lining up with what PJ has put in place for us. She did a great job on that. I think we're set to
They
go.
have tremendous resources there, and they got that whole green
Absolutely.
room. You could do some pretty fun things.
Absolutely.
So the first video episode, going to be financially kind of oriented, show them what kind of financial resources are available to them?
I think businesses need to know that you have banks and there's money available, and they're interested, as Tom we have a good resource here, he's in the banking business, that there's money available for businesses, whether it's developing land, whether it's opening up a business, whether it's doing rehab type of work. I think we need to show them who they need to contact, and that these banks are
Absolutely.
looking to do business.
So they'll address like the small business administration loans and just typically what's involved in the application process?
Certainly.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because
There's a
at the end
lot-
of the day, a lot of times it comes down to money.
Absolutely. You can talk a good case, but if you can't finance it, you're not going anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. And,
All right. And then what are some of the other ideas after the banking one's done?
I haven't given that far in advance. I'd like to get through the banking, because I think that's gonna take us 2 sessions to get
Okay.
through. And then we can kind of take it from there.
Excellent.
I think it's a great idea. I really do.
Any input on that, or you good? All right, next thing on the agenda, Southern Worcester County Economic Development Organization. My understanding is that they created the organization, they had their first meeting on June 14th, was it, Don?
Yes,
Do you want to tell us about that, and if you can just kind of speak into the mic a little?
sure. It was more or less just the opening meeting where they were electing officers and all that sort of thing, but they have a specific, set of guidelines that they're working toward, which I can get a copy of to the board members if you like.
Now, that's an extension from the SEDS program that we had done?
That's right,
Okay.
yes.
And what the SEDS program was, that's the one where we were involved with the Worcester Chamber and getting designation from the U.S. government as an economic development zone. So Dudley was one of the communities, and so there were meetings in Worcester. And then that plan was approved by the government. And so that gives sort of some priority funding and grant opportunities
Yep.
to businesses looking to expand. So a great opportunity would be if those mill projects ever move forward, that organization can help them possibly secure some, federal funding or get some priority status and things along those lines. Now, are they looking for additional members still?
I think they're all set with that, actually.
Okay. So they elected their board and
Right, right.
and then, of course, anybody here at any time, because we're part of it, can show up at their meetings, right?
Absolutely.
And so what I would ask is, I don't know if there's a way to, get them on a subscribe list or an email notification
Work on
list.
that. Okay,
All right.
yeah. They can send them to you directly, you mean? Send them to the committee members directly? I'll see if I can.
Okay.
Sure.
And on the regional basis, is there anything else occurring that you're aware of?
Not so much on the regional basis, but you know that we have that program that we're working on, which should start in earnest next month, by the way, with the sort of the commercial corridors project with Webster.
Okay.
And some, not all that, not directly related to economic development, but nevertheless, it's associated with it is that MVP grant, municipal vulnerability preparedness, and also hopefully we get the block grant, and we hear about that probably next month. Hopefully next month.
All right.
Hopefully favorably.
And that was the grant to look at some of the aging infrastructure in
It's
the
the aging
lower
infrastructure,
income
and
areas,
there's
right?
two, like this, say the Brandon Street neighborhood.
Yeah, Brandon, okay.
And also the neighborhood up off, it's called Jericho.
Yep, Jericho.
Everybody knows where that is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we'll continue on, since we're on you, the town planner update.
That was it.
Well, let's talk about the recent election. There were a number of empty spots on the ballot for the planning board.
Yeah.
Have those been filled? Did the write-ins
Have been
accept?
filled with write-ins, yeah.
And did the write-ins accept?
They've all been sworn in except one, I believe.
And do you know who those members are right now?
To tell you the truth, I don't remember the names off the top of my head. Bill, Richard,
Okay,
Lou, and
Perrin?
okay, so Lou Perrin.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding, yeah.
All right, so they'll have a complete board.
Steve is the other one. I don't remember their last names, I'm sorry.
Troba.
Oh, Steve Wetruba?
Yep.
Okay,
Oh, but yes.
all right. That's good. I was really nervous because if that board wasn't filled and any plans came in, the clock kicks in and automatically approved without a planning board. So
Yeah.
that's one board that, probably one of the more important boards in town that people don't realize.
We have a quorum that's logged in with the town clerk anyway, so at least we have
All right,
a meeting tomorrow night. Right.
okay.
Yeah, I know the selectmen took the bull by the horns on that and got in touch with some people who had expressed some interest over the past or in the past. And most of them, I think most or all of them accepted. And there was kind of a campaign that got put together. And so, yeah, it looks like it was very well done. And it looks like some good talent that has come on the board as well. So, good stuff.
Nice.
Excellent. Next one is new business or open discussion. If anyone on the floor would like to ask anything or have any input or anything along those lines? All right. That's it for the agenda. This is my last meeting.
We didn't get a cake.
My 3-year term's up, and I decided not to renew. You know, when I originally joined, you know, if you remember, the town had come under attack by a lot of very dark forces from outside the community, and I thought that the economic development was a good way to get the town, part of the healing process of the town. And I was telling the board of selectmen that, you know, it was to show people the strengths of Dudley, you know, the goodness of the people of Dudley. And so, you know, we started the effort of, rather than having these outside dark forces try to define who Dudley is, that we take the initiative and do it ourselves. And so, you know, we did the website, we did a bunch of public hearings, we tried to encourage the different peoples and boards to talk to each other and build a sense of community. Now, we're far from the end result, but, you know, I think we've seen some great progress. The 5-year plan, I think that's the big thing that this board has to follow up on. You know, a lot of time and energy talking to a lot of different boards, but at the end of the day, the Board of Selectmen have to vote up or down on it. And so, you know, maybe someone on the board or the new chairman, whoever you elect or nominate, can really drive that home, because that will, I think, define a lot of what you do going forward. I mean, if they approve that economic development plan, you've got the roadmap, you've got your deadlines. you know, and it'll help give you a sense of purpose on what to do. But it's been an honor to serve with each of you. I've learned a lot. I'll continue to stay involved. I mean, I still have to do my volunteer work and, you know, still help with the rail trails.
Good, good.
Walk with my garbage bag, pick up the garbage that people leave behind. But, you know, but I just want to say thank you. It's been an honor and a pleasure. Fred, thank you. You've been fantastic on the cameras and stuff. And Don, gonna miss you. Sometimes I talk to you more than I talk to my wife.
I'm honored. Yes,
So,
put it that way.
Well, John, you've obviously done a lot in the town, and this was certainly the last thing you've done, but won't be the last thing that you do. You'll pop up somewhere. But just being on the board for a short period of time to see, you know, how you and the board, or you led the board to just that, the agricultural forum that you put together was just awesome. So, and I know there were a lot of other things that you had done, as you just alluded to. But again, not you. I know it doesn't happen without a good board. So I'm speaking for some of the members who've been on for a while. But yeah, it's just fun to watch, and certainly going to be missed.
Absolutely.
For sure. But if you have a minute, so you started back, you know, just as we were talking, but I think it'd be important for you to just share. Were you on the master plan committee way
Yep.
back when? And then
that was like 98.
okay, and then you were. What are the, just not in detail, but what were the boards that you served on from?
There was a board for the West Main Street Building Committee. Then there was the planning board.
Mm-hmm.
Served as an assessor for a year. Helped with the rail trail, and then this committee.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, no, you're very welcome.
Very much appreciated. Your technology skills you always brought moved us more quickly because the rest of us are in awe of that. But you, great organizational skills, and I think you made a lot of progress for us and got us on track to where we need to be, and it's a question to just keep moving it forward.
No.
But we thank you very, very much.
I'm very welcome.
I agree with everything, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, were we both sitting in front of the Board of Selectmen when I was asked and you were asked? And I'm very new to all this as well, but you know, as most of us do sit on a number of other different committees and boards, there's usually one or two people that really are the ones that kind of drive things. And with your leadership skills, your organizational skills, and everything else, I mean, you took the weight of most of the initiatives on your shoulder. And for that, I'm grateful, because, you know, I've been learning just by watching and seeing how you handle meetings, and how, you know, just all the behind-the-scenes work that you've done. Definitely this committee is losing a huge force, and we hope that we, you know, stay in contact with each other down
Absolutely.
the road. Thank you.
Thank you.
With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
All right, Joanne has made the motion.
Second.
Mark is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, everybody.